Welcome to CINEPRO, where we bring your favorite movies back to life with quick recaps, hidden details, and everything you missed. Our film begins with a woman named Layla, who took her daughter Bella and traveled to America to work there and secure her daughter's future. However, she faced a major problem with her paperwork, and to solve this problem she needed a lot of money. She knew that no one would be willing to hire her because of this issue. She had a friend in America named Mary, who suggested that Layla go with her to the house of an old man she knew named Arthur, hoping he would hire her and that the money she needed would help solve her problem. When they stopped the car halfway to take a break, suddenly a man came out of the forest and asked them for help, but Mary refused and took Layla and her daughter and continued on their way. After the two women arrived at the old man Arthur's house, Mary explained Layla's situation to him and asked him to hire her to work in the house. Arthur agreed, and as soon as Mary left, Arthur began showing Layla around his house. When Layla saw taxidermy deer heads hanging on the wall, she was very surprised and scared. Arthur told her that he loved hunting and kept those heads because they were from the best deer he had hunted. Then Arthur took Layla to his room and pointed to a black and white photo on the wall, telling her it was a picture of his great-grandfather celebrating the harvest. When Layla asked him what the harvest was, Arthur smiled and told her she'd know later, and that it was coming soon and they would all celebrate it. The next day, when Layla woke up, she noticed her daughter Bella wasn't next to her in bed, so she got anxious and went out to look for her until she found her sitting with Arthur at the dining table. Arthur had prepared food and was waiting for Layla, and he had also fed Bella. Layla sat with them, feeling embarrassed, and told Arthur that starting the next morning, she would get up early to prepare food for him. But Arthur told her not to rush, that she had just arrived and needed to rest. Layla was surprised by Arthur's excessive generosity. While she was eating, she suddenly heard strange noises coming from the basement. Arthur reassured her, saying those were the sounds of animals sneaking into the basement sometimes, because the house was close to the forest, but he assured her the basement door was always locked. After that, Arthur showed Layla the rest of the house and his farm, explained the tasks she would be doing, and pointed to a small room on the farm, telling her it was his private place and no one was ever allowed to enter it. While Layla was cleaning the house, she caught a cold. When Arthur saw she was sick, he made her a strange herbal drink and gave it to her, telling her to drink it and she'd feel better. Although Layla hesitated at first, she agreed to drink it and soon felt very dizzy and fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, Layla woke up feeling refreshed, with no cold symptoms. On the contrary, she felt very energetic. When Arthur gave her the same drink again, she drank it without hesitation. After Arthur left, Layla saw the same man she had seen on the road before entering the farm, asking her for help, but Layla felt afraid of him and went inside, locking the door behind her. When Arthur returned, Layla told him about the strange man asking for help, and Arthur replied that the place was dangerous and that if they saw anyone approaching the house, they should kill him immediately. Layla was very frightened by this. Later, she went out to the farm with Arthur, who was carrying a rifle. As soon as the strange man approached them, Arthur hit him on the head with the rifle butt, and he fell to the ground. When Arthur pointed the rifle at him to finish him off, the man begged, saying he wasn't there to harm them, but that his car had broken down on the road, and he needed their help. He introduced himself as Andrew. Layla felt sorry for him and convinced Arthur to help him. Arthur agreed, and allowed him to stay in the house for 2 nights to celebrate the harvest festival with them. Layla then felt comfortable with Arthur, who also promised Andrew he would fix his car and gave him the same herbal drink Layla drank every day. At night, while Layla was looking out of her room window, she suddenly saw someone wearing a deer mask standing on the farm, but when she looked more closely, she noticed no one was there, so she thought she was imagining things. In the morning, when Layla woke up, she noticed her daughter wasn't next to her in bed again. When she went out to look for her, she found her playing with Arthur on the farm, and was reassured, hugging her tightly. However, she then saw 3 people wearing deer masks standing among the trees. When she turned to tell Arthur about them, she suddenly found they had all disappeared. Arthur told her she must be imagining things, and changed the subject, telling her to get dressed and look nice because important guests were coming that night. When Layla went with him to his room, she found a strange book full of drawings of people wearing masks. When she asked him about the book, he quickly took it from her and told her not to go through his things again, then gave her a red dress to wear and look beautiful for the guests. At night, Layla put on the red dress and joined the guests with her daughter. Noticing they were staring at her in a strange way, Layla took Andrew aside and told him she felt the guests were acting weird. Andrew replied that he was also uncomfortable and suggested she leave with him and her daughter when he left, but Layla refused, saying she couldn't because she needed a lot of money to solve her paperwork problem. Andrew told her to do as she wished, but warned her not to trust anyone there. At that moment, Arthur brought them back to the guests again, even though he had previously told Layla he didn't allow anyone into his room. As soon as Andrew entered the room, Arthur hit him on the head with an iron bar and knocked him out. When Layla kept searching for Andrew on the farm, she suddenly saw someone wearing a deer mask again, and Layla began to suspect she was going crazy. At that moment, Arthur came to tell her that Andrew had left in his car. Layla was surprised and asked how he could leave without saying goodbye, and Arthur told her he was in a hurry. Then he gave Layla the usual drink, and after she drank it this time, she lost consciousness and saw herself lying on a table, surrounded by people performing strange rituals. When Layla woke up, she noticed she was wearing different clothes than what she had worn with the guests, which confused her, and she kept asking herself if everything that happened was a dream or reality. The next day, while Layla was cleaning the house, she found a blood stain on the floor, which made her anxious and very scared. When she went into Arthur's room, she found a wooden box inside the closet. Inside the box were shocking photos confirming that the community she was living among practiced cannibalism. At the Harvest Festival, there's a box containing a book that explains everything. While Layla was reading the book, she heard Arthur's footsteps as he entered the house, so she put everything back in its place and left the room. At that moment, she heard strange sounds coming from the basement, so she decided to go there. But before she entered, she found Arthur coming out of the basement, holding a knife. He told her, "If you care about your life, don't even think about coming near the basement again." The next day, when Arthur left the house, Layla took the opportunity and broke the basement door with an axe. To her surprise, she found Andrew locked inside, but both his eyes had been gouged out. Layla was shocked and decided to untie him and take him with her and her daughter to escape. While they were running in the forest, Arthur caught up with them before they could get far. He struck Layla on the back with the butt of his rifle and knocked her out. When Layla regained consciousness, she found herself tied to a bed, and Arthur brought her the usual herbal drink. When Layla refused to drink, Arthur threatened that if she didn't, he would kill her daughter Bella. Out of fear for her daughter, Layla was forced to drink it. At night, Arthur put on his ancestors' old clothes and approached Layla. When she saw him in that outfit, she thought it was just another hallucination like the ones she saw every day, but in reality, it was really Arthur, wearing those strange clothes. He kept dragging Layla until he took her to the bathroom, ordered her to take off her clothes and shower in front of him. But Arthur grabbed her and started drowning her in the bathtub water. When he felt she was about to die, he pulled her out quickly and made her drink the same herbal drink, until Layla fell into a deep sleep. After that, Arthur went to the basement, and we learned that earlier that day, he had killed Andrew and was now cutting up his body to prepare his flesh as a feast for the Harvest Festival. At night, Layla woke up and found herself sitting at a table, tied up, with her mouth taped shut. Around her were members of Arthur's cult, and even her friend Mary was sitting with them. At that moment, Layla realized that her friend had been in on it from the start, and was one of them. Then Arthur began reading the rituals from the mysterious book he always hid from Layla, and then announced that tonight they would drink the blood of their victim. He started pouring bowls full of Andrew's blood, and indeed, everyone drank it. After that, he lifted the lid off the tray in front of them, revealing Andrew's severed head. As soon as Layla saw this, she vomited on the table. The cult members became agitated, and blamed Arthur for ruining the ritual. Arthur dragged Layla and locked her in the basement with her daughter. After he left, Layla found a knife next to her, so she grabbed it and managed to free herself. She also found Arthur's rifle next to her, so she took it and left the basement with her daughter. At that moment, she saw a man standing in front of her who had been at the table with them. As soon as he saw the weapon in her hand, he begged her not to kill him, but Layla shot him and finished him off. Then Layla went to the room Arthur had always forbidden her from entering. Just as she was about to open the door, her friend Mary attacked her, but Layla was well prepared and managed to stab Mary in the neck with the knife, killing her. When Layla entered the mysterious room, she found dismembered remains of many bodies, stored and preserved there. She was horrified by the gruesome sight. As she was about to leave the room, she found Arthur standing in front of her, so she shot at him, but the bullet hit his hand. Arthur managed to get up, grabbed Layla, and locked her inside a wooden box. When he went to take her daughter Bella, Layla didn't give up. She managed to escape at the right moment and attacked Arthur, knocking him to the ground. Unfortunately, the antler crown Arthur was wearing pierced Layla's leg, but she managed to endure the pain, pulled the antler out of her leg, and stabbed it into Arthur's neck. Then she pulled it out and kept stabbing Arthur in the chest until she finished him off completely. She took her daughter, got into Arthur's car, and escaped through the forest. And with that, our film ends. Don't forget to like and subscribe.